So what is that thing on top of Donald Trump's head? Is it a secret pigeon from the planet Xenu, cleverly disguised? Is it the evil twin of the weasel that has taken up residence on the top of Ben Nelson's head all these years and is taking control of his brain? I don't know, but Dan Gainor, actually, we're not going to talk about that, but first I want to start with that. Dan Gainor with the Business and Media Institute, businessandmedia.org, the Vice President and T. Boone Pickens Free Market Fellow there, and you can Twitter him at the MRC. Dan, first of all, welcome back to the program, my old buddy.
It's a pleasure. If I start cursing, does that mean that I'm dealing with my pain?
Yes. I did that last Monday when I came. I was so jet lagged. I can't believe it. First time in 9 years. We were able to successfully bleep it, but I dropped an expletive, shall we say, on the air. Myself, it's the first time I've ever done it. But question for you: have you seen our poll question on our homepage?
No, actually, I haven't.
Okay, well, you got to answer this question here. This let me throw this out to you first. What's the deal with Donald Trump's hair? A, it's a toupee. B, it's combed from the back to the front. C, it's combed from the front to the back. D, it's not hair, it's a born-again weasel. And C, it's a cleverly disguised pigeon from the planet Xenu. What do you think?
I think I'm going to take another and say his hair, not Donald Trump himself, but his hair is running for office.
Yes, I think his hair is in charge. I really do.
Because, his hair might be conservative. The rest of Donald Trump, no. But maybe his hair is.
And the big challenge he's going to face, I had a fellow on from Pat Robertson's university here the last hour, and he, I laid this out. There's this new website, trumpbirthers.blogspot.com. Have you seen this? They've got Donald Trump's South African birth certificate. He was born in South Africa, an illegitimate child. His father was there trading diamonds and had an affair with a local woman and a white woman and brought him, a Dutch woman, an Afrikaners or whatever they call themselves, the Dutch there. And so Donald Trump has spent millions of dollars hiding his identity as a South African, and he's running for president so that he can reinstate apartheid in South Africa and then do the same here in the United States.
I think some of that is pretty much Looney Tunes, but I think also the whole birther movement is Looney Tunes, so it's only fair.
Right, yeah, exactly. We got the proof here at trumpbirthers.blogspot.com. Anyhow, a more serious point. I am concerned, and I'm curious your take on this. Genuinely curious your take. Whether you love the Tea Party or hate it, whether you think that it's billionaires like the Kochs and multimillionaires like Dick Armey just funding an AstroTurf group, or you think that it's a lot of really people who are speaking from their heart and they're getting out there and maybe they're getting a little help from the billionaires. Whichever perspective you may take on the Tea Party, it has up until this point been a secular movement. It's been about the size of government. It's been about the level of taxation. It is on the fringes, frankly, and I think it should be more, been about things like our trade policies, those kinds of things. And now there's talk. Ralph Reed is trying to insinuate himself into this, the guy who was basically the bag man for Jack Abramoff, who sold out his own Christian brethren for the casino deal and for multiple millions or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars in his own pocket. Ralph Reed is trying to make a comeback as a so-called Christian and bring these two groups together, the born-again Christian groups. You had 12,000 churches 2 Sundays ago, that carried Mike Huckabee and Tim Pawlenty on, in their churches on Sunday. Wasn't even reported in the media outside of Chris Matthews' show, and which I think was a huge big deal. Politics in a church, there's something I think fundamentally wrong with that, and or at least one-sided politics. And this merging of even on this side, it just Well, I've done enough talking. It's your turn, Dan.
You touched on a whole bunch of things that I'll try to see if I can play whack-a-mole here a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, the whole premise of Christianity is forgiveness. To call somebody, to mock someone being a Christian, it doesn't matter. We can debate all day what someone has done or what they haven't done. But the important thing is who they are now.
But Ralph Reed's still doing the same thing he was always doing.
I'm not going to
hustling.
I'm not going to judge that part. As far as the history of churches and politics, you would throw out Martin Luther King and the whole civil rights movement if you throw out churches and politics.
No, you would not. No, you would not. Dan, that's a canard from the right. Martin Luther King never, ever said that the churches should be involved in politics. He used the platform of churches.
Right. The churches have historically been very involved in the black community. But
the movement was largely a secular movement. Even the civil rights movement was largely a secular movement.
Are still a secular movement, but a lot of the hardcore Tea Party people, and I've been to multiple Tea Party events, and I've talked to a ton of Tea Party people. I wrote the op-ed that kind of got a lot of attention for the Rick Santelli piece when he first made his rant that was heard around the world. I wrote that that appeared on Fox News. So, I followed this movement now for the 2 years it's been in existence. A lot of people are hardcore conservatives on many issues. To say that somebody is only a fiscal conservative or only a social conservative ignores reality. A lot of people are both. I happen to be both. So there's a natural merger there. And when you end up with government getting involved with issues of Planned Parenthood or other similar issues, inevitably you get a situation where people are making moral choices with their tax dollars. So there's bound to be crossover. It doesn't mean it's not it's going to stop being a secular movement, but you can't remove someone's morality from who they are.
I'm not suggesting that we should. What I'm suggesting is that the merging of church and political institution is the first step toward the merging of church and state. And I would think that you would be as concerned about that as I am, maybe for different reasons. I'm guessing that you and I are probably more like Madison and Jefferson. Jefferson was afraid if the Christians ever took control of, got elected to high offices, that they would turn our government into a theocracy. Madison laughed at that, said it would never happen, but he was afraid that if the government ever started giving money to churches, that the churches would become so corrupted that you'd see basically the Ralph Reed types, and Christianity itself would be harmed. He cared about Christianity. Jefferson didn't.
Tom, those quote-unquote Christians that you're so afraid about have been running the country for a couple hundred years. They haven't.
Well, I haven't seen that, Dan. I have not seen. Other than the first three presidents of the United States, the first four up through James Madison, George Washington, John Adams, arguably, Thomas Jefferson certainly, and James Madison definitely. Those four guys were aggressive in wanting to make sure that the poor were fed, that they were given health care, that they were housed, that they were provided for. They all passed legislation to that effect. They spoke about that. Jefferson spoke at length about how, after a person's basic needs are met in terms of income, he should be taxed exponentially relative to a linear increase in his income. Those guys. But since then, I haven't heard anybody quoting Matthew 25 from in the political realm. I haven't anybody. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any genuine core of Christianity in politics.
If somebody goes around, especially in this day and age, when Christians go around actually quoting the Bible, heck, when we read the Constitution, even on the floor of Congress, the left and the media go insane. So if somebody,
I don't recall anybody going insane.
Oh yeah, the media went nuts, and the left went nuts about that. Oh my gosh, they're reading the Constitution.
Half the people who read it were Democrats.
Yeah, right. Only after if the whole thing caught on, everybody was still like, what part of the Bible, what part of the Constitution you're reading? People freak out about any mildest thing. There's no reason to worry about people who are Christian being involved in politics. It's just silly.
Well, I know I'm not saying that. Maybe we're talking past each other, but Dan, it's a good start to a conversation. We'll continue another time. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks.
Dan, businessandmedia.org. Dan Gainor.